Hello crafters, I'm Jan B and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this really very glittery Christmas card. If I tilt it like that, you'll see all that glitter. Isn't it glorious? I shared this card, which one did I share? This one. I shared this on my blog the other day and it was really very popular, and I was asked lots of times if I'd make a video showing how I made it, which I'm always very happy to do. But since I made this one, I have found a much easier way of doing it and a way of making sure that the glitter is all over and very nice and even. So this is what I'm going to show you today. I will show you a little bit of how I did that from the point of view that I have this, which was my very first attempt, and I didn't like it because the trees are too dark on this. But these trees here don't have any glitter on, so I'm going to just do a little bit on here to show you how I actually did it, just in case you prefer to stick to that way. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces. I'm not changing the colour scheme or anything for this. So to start off with, you're going to need a Whisper White card base, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8 inches, which is 21 by 14.5 centimetres, scored and folded at 10.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of Tranquil Tide. You see, there's going to be one inside like that. Let's bring that down there. Okay, so you need 2 pieces of Tranquil Tide, which measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. Then you need 2 pieces of Whisper White, which measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. And then you need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 1 1/2 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 4 by 13.7 centimetres. And then for the sentiment, a piece of Whisper White, which measures 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 4.5 by 7 centimetres. And then for the layer behind the sentiment, you need some Tranquil Tide, which measures 1 5/8 inches by 2 1/2 inches, which is 4 by 6.5 centimetres. And then you need a piece of our multi-purpose adhesive sheet, and this should measure the 6 inches like that, which is how this arrives, by 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.7 centimetres. Now the important thing is that that is the same width as that. Okay, if you fall a bit short, I will show you what you can do to correct it. So the first thing we're going to do is the stamping. So for the inside of my card, which I didn't show you, did I? I just stamped a few trees at the bottom here. On this one I did more of the trees because I thought that because that is so pale, I can write my greetings over that. That's not going to interfere. So let's do that bit first. So this is my inside bit. And the stamp set I'm using is called Winter Woods. I'm going to be using that stamp, that one, and that one. The ink I'm using is Sahara Sand. Let's move those out of the way. Right, I'm going to stamp off for the inside of the card. In fact, let's do it round this way, it's easier. So it's only really the top of the trees that I need. Okay, that's fine. As I say, I want them to be quite light because I want to be able to write over the trees if I need to, or if I decide to stamp a sentiment in there, I can stamp it over as long as I've got a much darker colour. Okay, so that's fine for the inside. And then this is for the outside. Now, what I do for this, I ink all of my stamp up for this one. And I'm going to stamp once. I'm going to come off slightly here, but up to the top. I'm not planning to go off the top. If I do go off, I'm not going to worry about it because I will go in and fill that in. Okay, so that's fine. Do one more and move along. In fact, I should have done the second stamping there. Never mind. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so the next one, I'm not worried if the trees are the same height, different height, or what. I don't mind if they overlap a bit here. Okay, that's good. Now, I should have stamped off, should have moved that up and done the lighter trees up the top. Okay, so I'll get that little bit there. So to do the bit that I forgot there, I'll stamp off and then I will go and fill that in. Okay, now I want to fill this bit in here. So again, I'm just going to do the tops of my trees, okay, and then I'm going to stamp off, and now I'm going to make my trees. I'm making sure that that is coming up over my trees on this side, okay, because it's the bit in there that I'm trying to fill up. There we go. So let's do that again for this other end. Stamp off and then bring it up so that I don't get any gaps left in here. Okay, now that doesn't matter because I'm going to put the snowbank over that. So that one I finished with. Now, I don't need this either, do I? So that was Sahara Sand. Now I'm going to be using Tranquil Tide. Now one of these I did try, this one here, I did use Garden Green, but I wasn't so happy with that because it was that much lighter. I don't know whether you can actually see on the video. I will put photographs of these on my blog tomorrow when I publish the video, so that hopefully the photograph, you'll be able to see it in the photographs. Right, now for the main tree, I'm going to ink that Tranquil Tide, and I'm going to make sure the point doesn't come off the top. I want to leave about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch, but I'm going to make the side here come off over here slightly. That's good. And now the second tree, I want to make sure the top comes to the top of my card, and I don't want it coming off of here. I don't want them to be the same positions. Oops. Right, so I'm going to make sure it's not on this side, but it is coming right up to the top. Okay, that's fine. Alright, not the, see how those have been done? Didn't come right to the side there. That's probably a bit further in, but that's fine. I just didn't want them even. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my white gel pen, and I'm going to do the snow. Now what I do is I draw white lines just on the top of the actual branches, and you will see that the snow will go a light greeny colour, but that's okay. So first of all I go and do all the straight ones first. and then I go back and find some branches where I can do it at angles, even if I'm inventing the branches. I just don't want anything to look really uniform. So as far as I'm concerned, on this bit, you just can't do it wrong. So go back to my branches and going off at different angles. Now to the side of my tree. If you go above the green, you're not going to see your snow because it will be going on the Sahara sand trees, and that's just too light. So now I'm coming into the middle of my tree and I'm just imagining where there would be branches. Okay, so that one's okay. Now I've got the other one to do. You don't really need to come right the way down to the bottom, because when we put the snowbank on there, it's going to cover up the bottom of the trees. But I still tend to do it just in case I tear the snowbank too low and I leave a bit that's exposed where I didn't put any snow on it. See, you can't do it wrong. Okay, that's fine. Do some on the top there as well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our snowbank, which is this piece, and we are just going to tear an uneven piece. Now on this one, if you saw my other video where I was, what was I doing, where I tore this off, I was using glimmer paper, wasn't I? I said to do it so that you didn't get this torn piece facing up, but on this card that doesn't matter because it's all going to be covered up with glimmer anyway. Now I haven't cut that very far down, so I've got quite a high snowbank here, but again it really doesn't matter what the height is. Equally, where I said it doesn't matter if you get that torn bit there, if you turn it over it's okay there. Okay, that's all smooth. No, I'm going to use it so that I've got the torn bit facing up. I don't think any of it will show anyway. I'm just using Tombow to adhere this on. So just make sure these corners here line up with these corners here. Okay, just check from the back that it's all fitting in together nicely, which that is. So what I'm going to do now is this bit. I'm going to get my Dazzling Diamonds glitter ready. So with your adhesive, multi-purpose adhesive sheet, there's one end here where it says peel here, you got one very narrow strip where you can actually hold on to, this one here. But when you expose that, that is really very, very sticky. Okay, so that bit's not needed. Now what I tend to do is turn it around that way, because what you need to do is put this face down on that. And I found that if I line this edge up to that little tiny bit that you can hold on to, and if you put it down at an angle like that, so that you can make sure that that is at the end and that is at the end here. Okay, so one side down, put the other side down. There we go, I think that's okay. Yep. It's coming at an angle there slightly, which means the other side must be coming over. Yeah, that's a little bit exposed there, but it is so close, I'm really not going to worry about it. Now, put the sticky sheet face down, so that bit there is going to actually stick to your scrap paper. And then you're going to need your bone folder. Now I know it is here somewhere. Come on, don't hide. Oh, here we go. So what you need to do is make sure this adhesive sheet is adhering down really, really well, especially where you've got the snowbank on there. What you don't want is for the adhesive not to go where this joins onto that, so you get a, look at that, I find pearls all over the place. Do you do that? Okay, you stay there. But yeah, give it a really, really good push down. And once you've done that, you pull that off, and then pull it off from this end. That's better. And then you can just pop that in or sprinkle it with Dazzling Diamonds glitter. And then, wow, look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I'll give a good flip over here. And then get rid of this sheet because you've got that sticky on there. Don't need that. Now if you do find that you've got bits on either side that haven't got any Dazzling Diamonds glitter on it, you can just put a little bit of Tombow or the fine tip glue and just re-dip it in. Now I do have a tiny little bit there and another tiny bit there, but it really is so small I'm not worrying about it. And a little tiny bit here as well. But as I say, it is so tiny, it really isn't worth worrying about. But how easy was that? Now what I used to do, if I bring the other one back that I said I was going to show you, what I did with this was I was using one of our retired 2A glue pens, and you can buy these in the shop, not with such a fat nib on it, more pencil like. And what I did with this was I just went over a bit like where the snow is on the trees, so I didn't get all of it. And then I did that one as well. I won't be using this. In fact, oh, I did another tree on that one, or part of a tree. Okay, so when I'd done that, then I dipped that. I thought I'd finish with this, but I haven't, have I? And then I would just dip that in there. Because the snowbank, I'd use the sparkle glimmer paper rather than just plain Whisper White. Okay, so if I bring that close, you can see that I left bits of the green exposed. But once I'd found how to do it using the adhesive sheets, I much prefer that. Okay, so I'll pop that over there. Right, so what else do I need to do? I've got some stamping here and then die cutting, and I think that's just putting everything together after that, isn't it? So the sentiment I've shown you was from the Winterwoods stamp set. There we go, that's good. So I'm going to get my Big Shot up now just to cut these out. And the dies that I'm using are the layering ovals, methinks. Let me just double check that. Oh right, layering ovals, and I'm using the straight one number 3 and the scalloped one number 3. If you want to know how I file all my dies and also how I number them all, check my video out, number 273. Right, let's get the Big Shot up. Let's do that this way round, shall we? Now this fits in beautifully. You can just get the die above the T, above the U, and without touching anything down here as well. And then we have that one. I can't believe it, we're towards the end of October. It's the 23rd today. And I have my window open. It's a beautiful sunny day out there. Really lovely. I wish our weather was always like this. My goodness, would I be a happy bunny. Right, that's those two done. Don't need this anymore. See all that black there? I was helping my daughter. She's making some lighthouses. Or at least it's a project she's doing for the children at the church light party, which is what we do rather than have it celebrating Halloween. We celebrate the light. Is that the right one? I think so. So she had to, she was doing the door for the lighthouse, so I said that if she did ovals like this, and then she could just chop it off like that. So she was die cutting it. I can't remember if it was about 60 of them. And of course all that black went through onto my plates. But it's okay, it doesn't come off on my work. Right, so that's that. Now it really is just a question of putting my card together. So for the inside, as you know, I do like to use my tear and tape. I've got a little bucket to put all my debris in. I brought these little buckets for classes. Just handy little things to have on the table. Right. Oh, just to let you know, if anybody lives quite local to me, on the 14th of November I am running a product-based class. If you'd like to know more about it, email me at jambi@jambicards.com. As I say, if you're local or fairly local, you don't mind a little bit of a drive, it'd be lovely to see you. So that's that. Now the green I've done, but I didn't do this one. I didn't think it was a good idea, seeing as how I was dunking the whole sheet, the whole layer in Dazzling Diamonds. Right, so first of all, put this onto the Tranquil Tide layer. There we go. I'm going to pop that one on there. I'm going to turn it that way so I've got this bit nearest to me. Make sure that I'm not going upside down or putting it on, yeah, upside down. Wouldn't be the first time I've made a card, so it opens up the wrong way. Right, so I just need to add this on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use dimensionals first, and then I'm going to be putting glue dots on my dimensionals, because this has got to adhere onto the dazzling diamonds glitter. The best two adhesives we have for that are our glue dots and also Tombow. With Tombow you need to allow a bit of time and a bit of pressure for it to actually get a grip, but our glue dots are amazing. So what I do is I use dimensionals and then I put a glue dot on top, and it works brilliantly. Then pop that on there, and on that one I put some of our little epoxy, whatever we're calling them, epoxy shapes. And this one, because I smudged my ink, I put some little stars. So I thought I would do that with this one, and I would show you what I do for my stars. Whenever I'm making a project and I've got little stars left over, I just save them all like this. Then I can just have a look through to see what I've got and what will work for me. No, I don't want pink. Oh, that was white as well. Okay, so I'm just going to do 2 white ones like that. I don't always have the colour that I want, but it does mean that I don't have to keep throwing these little things away. So I'm not going to put these on with dimensionals, although I'm sure they would look quite nice like that. But we'll just use a little bit of Tombow. And that one. And there we go, there's today's project. Okay, by special request, the Glittery Forest. So that's the one I've just done. That was the one I did immediately before the video. That was one that I did when I was experimenting, when I first found out about the sheets. That was the one I did when I was doing that one, but I forgot to put my snow thing on, so I had to do that afterwards. But that's on with glue dots as well. And this was the one that I did on my video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you give it a try, because this new method of doing it is just so easy with the adhesive sheets. We do sell them, they're on our catalogue. So I hope you give it a try. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help, and I do like to receive your feedback. If no, also in the box below I will put all the measurements and also the products that I've used and the product numbers and everything, and a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. So if you'd like to purchase anything that I've used here, you find out what the product is in the box below, and in the box below you find a link to my shop too. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to be notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button, and then to get notifications there's another button there you have to press, which I believe is a bell. And I have also set up a Facebook group for like-minded crafters who want to share their projects. It started because a lot of my subscribers share their projects with me, and they are so brilliant. I thought it was a shame that it was only me getting to see them. So do head on over to Jambi's Happy Crafting Facebook group and have a look to see what everybody's sharing, and hopefully you share yours. I'd love to see you over there. I'll put a link to that Facebook group in the box below as well. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.